So first and foremost, the first thing that I tell people when it comes to getting clients is people always think that they have a lead gen problem when it's really a positioning problem. What that means is, and stay with me for a minute here, is when you are hyper focused on solving a specific type of problem for a specific type of client, it's much easier to attract other similar types of clients. This is actually a graphic. I'm not sure if Alan shared this with you. This is kind of like our agency progression scale, if you will. When you're doing between $0 and $20,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue, it's really positioning that you want to focus in on. When I say positioning, it's understanding who you service and the offer that you have in terms of enticing them and bringing them in. These are things that we teach and we coach, very robustly within the program. This is actually the deck that we use to train. It's all in there. We'll teach you exactly how to carve out a very specific part of the market. You have to start there because when it comes to lead generation tactics, cold outreach, advertising, really anything, it's going to be exponentially easier and more effective if you have a specific positioning carved out. For example, one of the things that I push people to do, we have a training in the blueprint on how to do cold outreach, right? It's not something we really recommend because of how time intensive it is, but when it comes to getting your first handful of clients, it's probably going to be the most cost-effective way because when you're first getting started out, you have more time than capital. But as you grow, you're going to have less time and more capital, and you'll kind of make the trade-offs to go into more content marketing, advertising, all things that we teach to eventually get you up to here, which is more of a demand gen, which is again flows through content. Everything that you see us doing over here at the Blueprint and NetWebbers, it's exactly what we teach and we coach here. So in regards to getting your first couple, though, again, when you've got your position, for example, let's say you only work with e-commerce websites that are on Shopify that sell water bottles. That's just a hypothetical, right? But let's say that's your position, that's who you specialize in working with. You built a specific offer in terms of a service that is geared towards solving the problems of that type of client and that type of customer. It's much easier to do outreach cold to a company when you have case studies, when you have a track record, or you just specialize in doing that and you can prove to that company that you specialize in doing it, as opposed to doing outreach, which is what everyone does. That's like, hey, my name is Eric, I do SEO. People are like, great, so what? So does every other person in my LinkedIn DMs. But if you hit them with a DM, that's something like, hey, Ryan, my name is Eric, I specialize in helping e-commerce companies on Shopify that sell plastic water bottles get from $500,000 in revenue to $1.5 million in revenue. And I do so using a very specific organic framework. It requires no investment in advertising. It requires no investment in additional people. It's a very specific framework that I've built from working with these types of clients over and over and over again. I eat, breathe, and sleep e-commerce marketing on Shopify for companies that sell plastic water bottles. So that was a bit of a dramatic approach there, but you can see how the difference when you specialize, right? When you focus on your position, you really get that dialed in, it becomes much easier to attract folks. So that's my biggest thing here is if you focus on your positioning, which of course will guide you through it, exactly how to do it. We have workbooks, we have trainings, we have videos, you can ask us questions in Slack. Once you get that dialed in, it's going to be a lot easier for you to perform other tactics, which will also teach you when it comes to outreach, when it comes to content, when it comes to social media. This is exactly the type of insights that you can expect from joining our community and from buying in. So if you have any additional follow-up questions, just let me or Alan know, and we'll get you the answers that you need. Thanks, brother, and hopefully I'll see you inside.